You click that.
I'll do it now. Yeah.
Okay. Well, no. See, it's been disabled by them. So, okay.
So I just go to the camera.
No, you'll see it. You'll see a message come up here.
Okay.
Okay. So, okay.
Kumare, and welcome everybody to tonight's community board meeting for Te Awamutu and Kihikihi, our last one of our triennium. So let's make it a goodie. Tonight I have the honour of handing the karakia over to Hone Kopa, who is one of our possible, or who is a candidate for this year's election. So thank you, Hone.
Welcome. He te timata o tātou hui mi no tātou. He honore he kroria ki te atau e maunga rongo ki te whenua e whakaaro pai ki ngā tangata katoa. Hanga e te atua e nā kau hau I roto I tēnā o mātou. Whakatonga ia tau wairua tapu hei a whina, hei tōtu o mātou I tēnei te hui ngā o te kaupapa I tēnei pō. Āmene.
Amen. Kia ora, Hone. Okay, so first up, apologies. I don't believe we have anyone. Everyone's all here with Jill Taylor on Zoom. Jill, just so you know, where you're sitting, it looks very dark, so your face is in a shadow. So I don't know whether you're able to swing yourself around or something and not be kind of, you're still kind of looking a bit. Yeah. Anyway, just letting you know, we can see you, but okay. So we've got no apologies. Second off, item is disclosure of members' interests. Have we got anything we need to disclose this evening? No, all good. And public forum, we don't, were any of you wanting to speak tonight? So we don't have a public forum, but welcome to our candidates for the Te Awamutu and Kihikihi Community Board. It's great to have a bit of competition. So we've got Liam, Hone and Sharon over here sitting on the sidelines. So thank you guys for coming along and sampling a community board meeting in the flesh. So first up to discuss, we've got item 4, confirmation of the previous minutes, which are on pages 9 to 14. I did spot one small change that needs to be made in regard to a name change. So we need Stephen Walsh to become Shane Walsh. Yep. So did anyone else notice anything else that needs to be amended or? No, otherwise we're all good. Okay. So can I please move that the Te Awamutu and Kihikihi Community Board confirms the open minutes of the meeting held 25 June 2025 as circulated with the agenda as a true and correct record of proceedings subject to the correction of typographical errors. Yeah. So we've got Sally, thank you. I want to call you Jill. Sally and Kane. Thank you. Sorry about that. I'm couldn't make my brain and mouth work in the same thing. Anyway, we will move on to item 5. Sorry. Pardon? Oh, whoops, I did too. Sorry, missed the dad out completely. All in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you. Sorry. Thanks, Kane. I completely missed that too. Okay. Item 5, North Waipa South Hamilton Spatial Study Update. I believe we have got Vanessa online to talk to us to that report. So we're looking at pages 15 to 29 of our agenda. I will
Hi.
Oh, no, Vanessa's ready to go. All
Yeah,
yours,
you can hear
Vanessa.
me, but for some reason I'm not able to put my video on because it says the host has stopped it. Oh, there you go. Here am I. Yeah,
It's all yours when you go.
my apologies. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for making the time to discuss this report and the North Waipa South Hamilton spatial study, which is led by Futureproof. I think I know most of you, but I will just introduce myself again quickly because it's been a while since I've came to this committee board. My name is Vanessa Honore, and I am the Principal Strategic Planner, part of a strategy team. With Kirsty, who is our group manager. But I am also seconded as part of Futureproof, leading the urban planning work stream of the North Waipa South Hamilton study. So before I take my report as read, just a really quick update and context on the study itself. I had the report outlined 2 documents that I had submitted at the Spatial Planning and Policy Committee meeting to outline the purpose and the intent of the study. The report today is for information only, and is really about preempting an engagement phase, which is now due to start later on in the year. It was initially noted in the report as being September, October. It is likely now that it would be later about this, mainly because we didn't actually want to conflict with the local election. So timeframes are being currently revised. And we're going through the approval process at this stage to approve the updated timeframe. I think this is it for me, so I will open it for questions.
Thanks, Vanessa. Appreciate that. So have we got any questions from the community board in regard to this information? Go, Sally.
Thanks, Vanessa. I'm just wondering, I see the list of the stakeholders there on page 28 that have been that have worked with you. I was just wondering how many of the elected councillors have had input into this and the involvement in the working group, out of interest, please.
Thanks for the question. Looking at, so Waipa District Council is a stakeholder as part of the study. So we will be engaging with them as we go further into progressing the different investigations that we have. Now, elected members are being briefed at different level within Futureproof itself. They are some allocated as part of different committee meetings within Future Proof. Don't know, Kirsty, if you want to outline a bit further on the composition of some of those committee meetings or advisory groups, sorry, within Future Proof.
So thank you, Vanessa. Through the chair, we have the Mayor and Deputy Mayor who sit on the Future Proof Implementation Committee, which is the governance of Future Proof. And they are provided with regular updates on the progress of the study and are able to provide feedback and input into that. We also then have staff who are represented on different groups and forums through the Future Proof structure. At an elected member level, Vanessa has been providing, Vanessa and myself have provided updates through the Strategic Planning and Policy Committee meeting, updates through to the community boards, but acknowledging that, as Vanessa signalled, the engagement process really will kick off post-election, and there will be an opportunity at that point for council as a key stakeholder to be further engaged.
That's right. Yeah.
We've got a number of staff from across our organisation who are inputting into this work stream. So we acknowledged on the back of Ahuaki, our Waipa Community Spatial Plan, the importance of this area, and that it signalled that there would likely be growth, Hamilton South, Waipa North. And in fact, we're seeing that. We're seeing fast track applications that have been lodged, including Hamilton Southern Links, and development in that area, industrial and residential. So when this project work stream was put forward, we acknowledged that there would be benefit to our communities by having Vanessa and her skills, experience, having a lead role within this project. So we put her forward to be seconded to help project manage this piece of work. And there are staff from other members of the strategy team, our planning team, and other parts of the organisation, transport, etc., who are inputting at a staff level. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Kirsty. Anyone
Thanks,
else got any questions? Kirsty, oh, sorry, Bruce, you go.
Vanessa, this is only in the very early stages at the moment. How long do you think before we actually make some really good headway? I know it's at the moment there's a lot of work being done, but it's going to take time, isn't it?
That's right. We're looking to, so the study in itself is the main purpose is to actually update the next review of a future development strategy. This is due to start next year. We're obviously waiting for national direction as to know if there will be actually a future development strategy to update, or if we will be more moving into a regional strategy plan instead. So the study will be informing either of those documents where to follow in the next couple of years. So we're very much looking to anchor our completion date by the first quarter of 2026. Yeah.
Okay, Kane's thought of something, so here's Kane.
Yeah, there's been discussion around the four wellbeings and their application. What's the situation within Future Proof and the four wellbeings as a driving philosophy?
I'm not sure this is something I will be able to answer directly. What I know regarding the study itself, the study is an economic study, so it's to understand how the agglomeration benefit of industry within this particular and important transport node could be realized over the next 30 years. So it is very much onto to understand what type of infrastructure we will actually be requiring. So it's probably more technical than it is actually regarding the four well-beings itself were outlined in BLG and were expected to be removed. If we're looking at the new definition, which is was being proposed, this is about providing and delivering long-term outcomes for the service of the community. So I see them being very well aligned with what the proposal of a national direction are. Between the study and the proposed rewording of it.
Okay, thanks, Vanessa. I just had one quick question around community board input. I've read somewhere that, we're seen as a possible stakeholder. So I don't know, maybe I was just sort of thinking more clarity around what sort of things would be helpful for us to contribute. I see you've got some general questions there around gap analysis and things like that, but maybe just a little bit more specific direction from your own personal experience of what sort of things we could look at from a Te Awamutu-Kihikihi Kekupuku perspective, because I imagine you guys are all probably quite definitely very onto all of the very strategic technical things. Yeah.
I suppose one, my apologies, there's a phone call. I suppose the study is very much targeting at the northern part of Waipa and very much looking on the northern side of Ohopo and toward and including actually the Peacock area. But we do acknowledge that, any intervention or any activity that could actually be establishing of the next 30 years within that northern part will ultimately influence Te Awamutu-Kihikihi and all those sovereign communities. Okay, so the idea here is to ensure that we have a comprehensive input of voices, not only from the communities who are within the study area itself, but also within those communities who ultimately will be influenced over time. Now, regarding the engagement purpose, or at least the question that we'll be looking to ask, the first couple of phases of a project were very much to look into the vision and the outcome statement of the study. So what we would be looking to, what were the success factors of the study, and we also looked at a gap analysis. So, and the gap analysis was a stock take or a technical literature review. So it was probably at a higher level. So when we started engaging with people, that was more an introduction to the project. The next phase, as Kirsty mentioned, will be about scenario. So exploring possible future within that study area. As soon as we are kicking off this engagement, some material will be distributed across and likely to show the different possible future that we want to explore through those scenarios and options, and I will be coming back to this forum, to this community board meeting, to investigate a little bit more what type of items within those scenarios you are believing to be beneficial, and which one will be actually more challenging for your community. So I think at this stage, this is, as I said, for information only. We're looking at engaging in a couple of months. Material will be distributed ahead of this, and during the next community board meeting, we will be able to actually discuss a little bit further those scenarios and understand what element of the scenarios you would like possibly to retain and which ones you think will be problematic. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yep. No, absolutely. That's great. Thank you. I pretty much gathered that, like you say, it was information, but I sort of thought, okay, just thinking ahead, how might this look for us? So no, that's great. Thank you. So is that everybody's All good there? Okay, thank you so much, Vanessa, for making yourself available tonight. So we'll move your report. So can I please have someone to move that the Te Awamutu and Kihikihi Community Board receives the report of Vanessa Honari, Principal Strategic Planner, titled North Waipa South Hamilton Spatial Study Update. John and Sally, all in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried.
Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we now move to item 6, which is the Hiskins Reserve Playground update. This is on pages 30 to 46. And I believe we've got Brad. Oh, yep, there he is. Hi, Brad. Brad Ward here to speak to to Angela Matheson's report. So Brad, I'll hand over to you first, and then we'll come back for questions and then move the report.
Kia ora tātou. This evening we're here to present to you the Hiskins Reserve Playground update that was originally on the August meeting agenda. So I'll take the report as read and provide a brief update since the report was written. As part of our communications with nearby residents of Hiskins Reserve, we undertook a letter to inform of the relevant information of the project. Typically, when we send these kind of information letters out, we don't receive any responses. But on this occasion, we received 3 really positive responses. Looking forward to the playground coming. One neighbour said that they've lived next door to the park for 35 years, and the whole time they've been there, the playground has been sort of substandard, and they've had to take their kids elsewhere previously. So they were absolutely rapt to hear of the renewal taking place. And then on Friday last week, with the support of Marlo from Ngāti Apakura, we held karakia on site to clear the way for the construction to start. And then on Monday this week, contractors have been on site, set up the fences and starting to take down the old playground. Construction should be completed by mid-December, but all going well. And yeah, happy to take any pātai you may have in relation to this report. And sorry, I should also note that I've got Angela Matheson online as well for any technical questions that you might have or project-related questions.
Thanks, Brad. I just spotted Angela there. So sorry, Angela. Were you there before? You probably were. Okay, sorry. Welcome, Angela. Thank you for joining us as well. So sorry, I'm blind as well as falling over my words tonight. Right, so have we got any questions about the playground, folks, for either Angela or Brad? Kane.
Yeah, hi there, Brad and Angela. Look, it's great that it's being updated. I think it's 35 years or further back. It seems to be a long time before it's renewed. A question around process. This is the sort of thing that I think the community board would really like to be involved with in an earlier phase. So look, when you sent out those letters, and maybe we did get notification or something further back around what was coming up to be updated, we can connect with the community on these things as well. So, along with, Brad, you're saying you don't get much feedback and this time you got 3, that's great. We would like to engage on that level too. And there's been a number of other playgrounds. Obviously, we're probably at the end of them now, I suppose, but, we're keen to be involved in that. And it's probably just more of a, we're here and we'd like to engage on that at that level. And so, because, we're talking in the community and seeing people out there as well. So, yeah, just a thought on the process about how we can, hopefully improve that engagement. Yeah.
Yeah, no, thanks, Kane. We can definitely link you in. What I failed to mention is that we, as part of the process, we did go to the community via surveys, engagement with the school, engagement with the local dairy. So yeah, we went to a wide network of the community as part of the incorporating ideas, but certainly take on that feedback that we can utilise the community board more.
Lou.
Yeah, thank you, Brad. I'm very, very much in support of this. It's just down the end of my road, but I've seen that playground actually deteriorate and hardly gets any use, the current playground. I'm very, very emphatic and keen to see it, as you say, becoming a mill site, or like recreating the old mill site, which was just over the hill a little bit. So I think that's great. I think that it's something that just develops the street a little bit more and adds value to our area. Thank you.
Sally.
I mean, I'm a stickler for reuse, repurpose and recycle and environment. So what is happening to the components of the playground that obviously are beyond use but are still probably perfectly okay for someone to put possibly in a home playground or whatever else? So just wondering what's happening on that front, and also wondering what the component is of the matting that gets put down, because just wondering with regards to, they often get damaged in playgrounds, as I'm aware, and it obviously then is I understand, probably a landfill problem or product. So just why do we use that as opposed to the bark aspect? I mean, I know they're very nice. I know that it fits for health and safety requirements, but so does bark. You're just wondering about those aspects, Brad or Angela, please.
Kia ora, Sally, great pātai. So your first one there around, can anything be reused on this one? This playground has had components removed over a number of years now for safety reasons, and this is what, like, it would be our worst playground in the district right now. Like, it's, to say it's at end of life is an understatement. So Angela, I might bring you in here. Is there anything on there that could be salvaged? I mean, we do try and if there is something that we can give away to a community or to to another organisation, and it's safe to do so, we will definitely explore that. But Angela, is there anything on this playground that might be salvageable?
No, so it has been deemed not to be in good condition, which is obviously why it's been reused. And the first point of call for us is to look at what we might be able to repurpose for, when we're renewing a playground. In this case, there isn't anything. So no, generally we don't like to hand down items that are clearly not in good condition and potentially not safe for the use of children.
Yeah, and to answer your second question there, Sally, yeah, so there are multiple, well, there's probably 3 primary safety services that we use, one being artificial turf, another one being cushion fall, which is like the bark, and then the third option is the rubber compound that we use. We utilize all 3 in different situations. More recently, we've been moving away from the cushion fall bark. It has a higher ongoing maintenance cost, but also is not very good for accessibility. So we're trying to make our playgrounds as accessible as possible for people with either in a wheelchair and or with movement struggles, like if they don't walk so freely. And so your cushion fall is quite a barrier to that. So we do utilize the rubber compound and the artificial turf in other places, especially on this site where there is some slopes. Obviously the cushion fall is quite a maintenance issue. When it slips down, we've got to keep on bringing it up and what have you. We are looking to try and make sure that we're using products that don't just go straight to landfill, and some of these companies are doing more and more work and R&D into their products to make that better. Actually, one of the products of the rubber compound is a Nike, what they call a Nike product, and that is reused shredded Nike shoes. So I'm not sure if this has specifically been used in this playground in this case, but we are trying to reuse our products before they go to landfill. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question there, Sally.
Sorry, just to add to that, we have got evidence that there is a child in this area who is in a wheelchair. Our playground officer has observed him in the playground with friends, and that was also one of the reasons we did try and have an accessible surface, particularly to the piece of accessible equipment we do have in the playground.
That accessibility aspect is absolutely vital, and I understand that. Thank you very much for answering that very, very well. Just with going back to usable bits, do you involve zero waste at all? to come and have a look at components? Because I understand that on a holistic avenue, yes, it's unfit for use. However, with each different component, so like that ladder piece or the slide piece, each component, if they were taken away and is zero waste or some facility like that contacted to check it out?
We haven't to date, no. It hasn't been something we've done.
Perhaps that's a food for thought basis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Has anyone else got any questions? I've just got a wondering financial question. So you may not have this information and you might need to possibly get back to me, and Brad, if you would be probably the person that may or may not know this. So I just wondered what the estimated cost of all the new playgrounds that have gone in over the last 5 years is to replace them in 15 to 20 years, and how that's been factored in for costs for ratepayers.
Yeah, so I can maybe partly answer that question. I don't have the answer to how much we've spent on playgrounds over the last 5 years, but our playgrounds, just like any other asset that we have at council, has a depreciation value and life cycle to it. So that gets incorporated, and that's how our renewals are funded, is through our depreciation costs. So yeah, outside of that, I'd probably need more advice from our finance team around that, but that's how I understand it.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Thank you. Otherwise, I thought it was quite a cool idea with the mill and things. And I just had, actually, I've got a question for Angela. So I note in the play equipment that you chose, one of those was a spinning, if I've got it right, is a roundabout piece of play equipment. And I just noted on the survey that there were 6 different types of play equipment that had 64% or more. And if I've counted right, I see there are 6 different types of play equipment in the playground, but you chose one that had the low rating over one of the 6 that were the ones that people had asked for. So I was just curious as to why that decision was made.
Yeah, that particular item was chosen because it's wheelchair accessible. And in our neighbourhood playgrounds, we do try and provide one item of equipment that is accessible to more people. We don't always make them accessible for everyone because we can't cater for everything. But in this instance, as I said, anecdotally, we know there's a little boy in a wheelchair. So that is why that piece of equipment was chosen, because we could get it on the site with accessibility to it for the likes of someone in his predicament.
Oh, yeah, perfect. No, that's great. Thank you. Oh, Sally's thought of something else.
Back on the wheel again. Moving forward, and not in particular with this playground, I love that they have these themes and things, but I see that we're outsourcing to Hamilton, and I know that it makes it factoring in, it makes it simpler and easier, and these people know what they're doing and da-da-da. But to have a point of difference with a playground, I personally, it'd be quite nice to see some local people possibly building some of the playgrounds, or having some building input, so that we're actually using the local knowledge, the local businesses, and supporting them. That's a bit of a push, a bent.
Yep. Another great observation there, Sally. And we do try to use local, and that's always considered in our contracts as part of our procurement. In this case, both the designer and the contractor, while they're Cambridge-based organisations, they do have Waipa-based staff. So we there's people living in Ahopō and in Te Miro in Cambridge and things like that. So while the companies might be Hamilton-based, they definitely do have a Waipa connection, and they do spend in Waipa. You're on mute there, Ange, sorry.
Oh.
thought I'd push the button, but it didn't push. So thank you so much to you both for giving up your time to be with us tonight. Best of luck with the installation. I hope it all goes nice and smoothly, and we look forward to seeing that being completed and hopefully get to go and have a visit at some stage. I've got a few clients up there, so I'll be able to do a detour and a play. But more importantly, we better move your report. So can I please have someone to move that the Te Awamutu and Kihikihi Community Board received the report of Angela Matheson, Community Assets Team Leader, titled Hiskins Reserve Playground Update. Lou and Kane, all in favour? Against? Carried. Okay, so
Chair, thank you.
Thank you. Item 7 is the allocation of funding to the project battery. It's on pages 47 to 49. Joe, did you want to speak to that at all? Pretty straightforward.
Yes, it's really just if anyone had any questions in terms of that report, I would take it as read. It's just the final payment, which was for a 4-month period before it's being taken over by the new organisation. So this will be the last one that you pass.
Cool.
Yeah, just to back what Joe said, this is the gap between when Pak'nSave took over the finance of it.
Yep.
So it's just the lag. At the moment, it's operating very well, and we've actually increased our volume by about 50%. So it's really working quite well at the moment.
Yeah, it is. It's going great guns, isn't it?
Well, I think I had 5 or 6 buckets last.
Yeah. Biggest nightmare is trying to tidy up the Grody batteries that are still going in there, because there's a few of those. But that aside.
Yeah.
Okay, right, let's get this moved then. So can we move that the Te Awamutu and Kihikihi Community Board receives the report of Joe Greed, Governance Officer, titled Allocation of Funding to Project Battery, and B, we allocate $734 plus GST from the discretionary funds for Project Battery to pay for the recycling of household batteries. John, Sally, all in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Oh, we're already past that, Lou. No, it's just still the delay. Okay. It's like, oh, we're done.
Honestly, that's why I stare at him with my glasses.
I know, right? Chop, chop. Okay, we're going to move on to item 8, which is a notice of motion presented to us from board member Sally Whittaker. So before we move anything, let's have a little bit of discussion around this. I believe Sally wanted to make a bit of a change, so I'm going to hand over to Sally to speak to this motion.
I'm going to stick to my script because it's a bit of an emotive one for me personally, so that's the easiest way. This is not about mandates, it's not about anything else, it's about discrimination and divisive behaviour. So incite fear, it's the oldest trick in the book, lest we forget. I am no expert, I am a key witness. I am not suicidal and I am of sound mind and body. I am here to speak and advocate for all the people. I am here to invite open, conscious, critical thinking. I am here to invite dialogue and transparency. I am here to invite understanding and kindness. I am here to reflect on what we may have learnt. I am here for the collective whole moving forward, lest we forget. The purpose of this is to validate and acknowledge the divisive effects and harms inflicted upon our community at a time when government policy was essentially based on the premise that there was a deadly pandemic. Inciting fear, it's the oldest trick in the book. Public facilities in Waipa District between the 3rd of December and the 5th of April 2022 were only accessible to the public with a pass. This pass did not prove absence of disease, but a willingness to comply and consent to the rules. The measures taken were discriminatory, causing significant physical and emotional trauma to a wide range of Waipa ratepayers and residents. Many other councils in New Zealand manage to safely keep public facilities open to all. Because decisions around access to public facilities have significant impact on the community, they must in future be treated with more gravity and consideration. I think that Waipa residents deserve much more than what was done in this instance. I acknowledge the Ombudsman's letter, finding, I quote, "It does not appear the council has acted unreasonably in this case." Maybe so. However, with this knowledge, our collective experiences, and considering wise use of public resources, it truly is imperative we all learn from this so that divisive discrimination requiring a medical pass doesn't happen again. Council's vision here in Waipa is to build connected communities. With this as the direction moving forward, I would like to propose a notice of motion. I move that the Awamutu-Kihikihi Community Board requests the CEO to publicly acknowledge the massive hardships of the past 5 years, that the council enforce some very strong applications of law which had far-reaching ramifications for a diverse number of the community in many different ways. Acknowledging the divisive nature of the actions also taken by council, demonstrating some empathy and public awareness to build connections and facilitate discussions and collaboration into the future. Waipa, home of champions. And I wish to amend and move that the Awamutu and Kihikihi Community Board propose that the Waipa District Council adopt a policy to never discriminate on medical status ever again for the use of public facilities. That's it. Because it's, yeah, that's it.
Okay, so we'll.
Somebody must be on mute.
Okay, sorry, I just want to say the words lest we forget are a connotation to the ode. All right, I would actually reject that. I'd say that we shouldn't be utilising that because it is part of something or a commemoration of those that served overseas and died and those that went away. I would like to see it changed and say, forget we must not, or say something like that, but just change the words. I honestly believe that there is, and I know I saw Hone nod his head over there, we've all been ex-servicemen, so yeah, we do have a connotation with that, and I think it's a sacred thing.
Lou, I acknowledge what you've got to say. However, I think that's sideways to what we need to. Yeah, it's not a part of the recommendation. Absolutely acknowledge it, unfortunately, and apologies on behalf of Community Board that it already is in the agenda and it wasn't possibly picked up. I know Sally's intention wasn't to use it in any disrespectful manner, but we need to probably be more focused on the point at hand. But we can't change anything.
Yep. All I wanted to say is I made a suggestion and it could easily be altered. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so has anyone got any discussion that they'd like to comment or any further points on what Sally's saying?
So I think at the time I raised a notice of motion that, you know, this discriminatory practice shouldn't proceed. So I did raise it at the time through the community board. And there have been some comment around, you know, it's been 4 years ago now, and we should just all move on. You know, the perception survey, or whatever it's called, the ratepayer survey, we're at about 19%, okay? And that hasn't moved. So, and I think part of the reason for that is that we've got these issues out in the community that have had no airing. There's been no very limited discussion about it from as to what actually went on. So we've just had the COVID inquiry, and that was a chance for people to actually air some of this information. But the council has actually, to my knowledge, has never actually had this public conversation around what actually happened and what could happen in the future. And I think a part of this is, focused on what we can learn from what happened in that situation, what could happen in the future. So I support what Sally has put forward here. And I think if we don't take the public along with us, or council, community board, etc., we're going to have this situation where we're still going to have this view that council are not working closely enough with the community. So I support what Sally's saying. I've written 1,000 notes here because it'll brought up a whole lot of memories from back then and even now. And I think the key thing that is forgotten over all of this is that healthy people were told they couldn't access facilities that they funded. And that, to me, was quite shocking, The other thing is that there were concerns raised around this vaccine, and the fact now that we know that it has actually seriously harmed and taken the lives of a number of, many, many people, I think that showed that those people who did have concerns and didn't get the pass were right in that view. Okay, and that's no judgment on who took it and whatever, but to stop people accessing public facilities over this, over a experimental gene technology, was just plain wrong. Then we can go into the process and the decision making, how the decision was made, and it was basically one person making the decision. They consulted with the councillors, right? Last comment. And to me, that's also not acceptable. And I'm not saying that the laws were broken and all that sort of thing, but you get to a situation where if this happens again, people are not going to follow along with this. They're not going to just willfully go along with it and just be accepting of council just making these unilateral decisions. So I totally support what Sally's trying to do, and I think we need to continue to have this conversation until we're heard.
Okay, thanks, Kane. John, did you have something you wanted to say?
Yeah, I think just looking at things, Gary Dyack was probably looking after his staff, so that's why he closed it down. He's responsible for the staff that come and go. I understand where you guys are coming from, and I think with what's happening with the government and things like that, I think we're learning a hell of a lot about what's happening on it. But I think Gary had the right to, okay, I'm looking after my staff. I've got to do what I feel best to protect them and make sure everything is on kosher, because lots of other businesses would have had to be in the same situation. Yes, Gary would have had to have let at least the mayor know what he was doing. The councillors, to a degree, yes, but he's responsible for his staff, no matter where they are.
Thanks, John. Lou, did you have?
So when you become a councillor and when you work here, you sign and you state an oath to the Crown. So the Crown actually tells you what to do. You must obey what the government of the day says. That is just simply part of what we all do. We stand and say an oath with the mayor and a JP in the corner here with a flag. Now, the point that Gary faced was the fact that this was a directive from the Director General of Health. It was a written law. It didn't go through Parliament as such. So we had a situation exactly the same as fluoride. We had a legislation that was chucked at us and we had no say. As a council, and Gary had no say, but to protect his staff. Now, I have soldiers that have left the army, police that left the police force, Air Force personnel that left, simply because of this legislation. The people that didn't get vaccinated, it went through fire brigades, it went through everything. So I would just raise the issue. This is something that should be brought up, yes, certainly. How that amount of power went to one or two people and how it was put in place. But I would make the comment that we as councillors had no actual say over the control of that. We actually had to confirm. And even I had to come in. We had separation here, and Kirsty will back me on that. We had huge separate. Had to have a card and vaccine cards, etc. So we were all on the same place.
Oh, yeah. Bruce, did you have any comments?
No, I totally agree with Lou, and that the chief executive at that time had the interests of the staff at hand. He had to do that. He was just about. Nothing was unreasonable or inappropriate, as it says, and he was informed of advice that he was given to what he should do, and kept everyone safe as far as I was concerned. So I have no problem with what was done, and I think we will learn by that, and I hope staff, and most likely they have done a debrief of what could be done better, maybe in the future, or whether they would do anything different. It'll be a different bug next time, so I don't know.
Absolutely.
Sorry, thanks.
Okay, thanks, Bruce. Jill, did you have anything you wanted to comment?
No, I agree with what Sally said. I think moving forward, that's what we need. We've learnt from what did happen and didn't happen, and I think it's going forward that maybe Sally's focusing on as well, that what we can do better for next time, and that's what we need to do.
Oh, thank you. And yeah, just my comment is, I have to say I hear both sides of this argument, and it was a difficult one. It was never going to be easy. I feel for the people that weren't or couldn't or didn't want to be vaccinated, because Kane, yep, you make some good points. On the other side, Gary did have to look after his staff. I really don't envy anybody in that position to be having to make a decision like what they did. However, I would just like to say I really do like the idea of that public conversation about what happens, and maybe that could be something that the community board could take up alongside civil defence, and maybe just have that conversation about what the impacts were, and are there ways that we could make some changes or improvements that could just be put in the pot to be considered, so that we could maybe, in the event of another pandemic, because I imagine there is going to be another one. I was just reading something in the news in the last couple of days saying potentially with the way they're using AI and biogenetics, that there's every potential that the AI could actually design it all by itself. So kind of scary thinking, and I hope it doesn't come to that, but these are the sorts of things that are in the news. So I'm afraid I'm a bit of a fence sitter, because I'm a little bit betwixt and between, but we should move. Do you want it? Yep, I can come back to you. Yes, have my head down.
Just thank you very much for everybody's comments. I just want to put forward, I said in here that this pass did not prove absence of disease, but a willingness to comply. Now, I just want to put a scenario, and I understand that Gary did the best with what he had. I understand that what you're saying about mandates, we're not here to discuss mandates. We're here to discuss a pass for our residents and our ratepayers to get into a public facility that they pay for. It's got nothing to do with mandates. I understand about the fire service, the nurse, everything. That's not the issue here. But I just want to give you a scenario. We have children. The children are like 7, 8, 9. Mum got vaccinated for her job. Mum decided not to get vaccinated, and so does not have a pass. Her children, though, can go into the library, but she can't. Or we have the adult that doesn't have a pass. The children that are over 12 or under 12, so they go in unsupervised. And so they're in a family, they've all got the same germs or whatever going around, but some are allowed in and some aren't. It doesn't make logical sense. So on a medical perspective, there's no logic here to actually enforce a pass to get into a public facility on medical grounds. It just makes no sense. Because some can and some can't.
Kane, did you? Yeah, so that's an example of something that didn't work so well. So that would be something that potentially could come up as being identified. So if there's no further discussion. Oh, Lou, yep.
One last
Sure,
point.
yes.
They were having an inquiry and they asked Chris Hipkins and Jacinda Ardern to attend. They wouldn't. They stood away. They went away. They wouldn't stand. They wouldn't stand at a commission of inquiry. So it tells you that where's the fault? No use looking at ourselves when the fault came from somewhere else completely. We did the best we had with the information we had at the time.
Yeah, last comment too. I think though, Lou, we're looking at specifically in the Waipa and specifically what happened here. Totally understand what you're saying, and it's it's not good that they didn't turn up. There's no transparency, right? But I'm talking specifically around our facilities, our people, our ratepayers. That's what we're concerned with here, or Sally is.
Thanks. Sorry. Okay. Righto. So, Sally, if you'd like to, I'm not going to read out your whole motion again because it's been, you've already done that. So I'm assuming you will like to move your motion?
Yeah, I'll move the motions, both of them.
Yep. No, you don't need to move the second one. Leave the second one. We'll come to that.
Okay. So I move the motion that the Te Awamutu-Kihikihi Community Board requests the CEO to
Yeah,
publicly.
we don't need to read all of it again.
Okay,
That's what I'm saying.
I move the motion.
Yeah, I'm just
Home of
asking, do you
champions.
move your motion? Yeah. And then have we
I'll
got
second
someone
it.
to second it? So Kane to second it. Those in favour? Against? Oh, Jill?
And I, yeah.
Yeah, got you. Those in favour? Against?
Do you want your votes recorded?
Yes.
John, what were you doing? You didn't? Pardon?
Okay.
Against,
so-
opposed?
So we'll just, so who's voting in favour?
Jill, Kane and Sally.
And Lou.
John and Bruce.
Okay, so that's tied.
All right, and in its current form, I'm against, sorry,
Okay,
opposed,
so the motion's law.
just in its current form. Okay,
So we'll still need to just see that.
yeah, and so the second part is that the Te Awamutu and Kihikihi Community Board received the information from staff on Ombudsman investigation outcome. So can I'll move it. Would someone like to second that? John, in favour? Are we in
All those-
favour? And
Can you, all those in
Of-
favour?
accepting the information from the Ombudsman? Yep. Against?
Yeah.
Carried. Okay. Done.
Just on the treasury.
Okay. Oh, in total. Oh, did they give some back? Okay, all right, so shall we, okay, I'll just, Oh, if I
Don't
can. Okay,
But that's an option.
okay, okay, yep. All right, we're going to move on to item 9. Yes, it's been moved. The, it's all, what do you mean the second one? There isn't the second one. Yeah.
You know, doing a formal apology, and then the second one is.
Oh, about the review.
On medical steps ever again for the use of public facilities, or is that all?
Oh, it was in one because it's all included. It was included in the motion.
Yeah, I'm just a bit.
No, it's just the way I've got it here. It is all one, but hang on. And
Yeah.
oh, I see, because then when you wrote it, you said and, so.
Yes. To me, they're two separate.
Mm. Yeah, because of it, that's, yeah, that's. Yes, I can see, yeah, yeah. So as in the future, 1, 2, so they're very clear, separate ones because of the way it's written. It's been interpreted as a together one. You know how sometimes we will do a motion together.
Well, I've separated them.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on.
Did they say they were voting on the whole thing, or did they were voting?
Okay. All right. We just need to back up then. So when everybody voted, were you clear that you were voting on one combined item or 2 separate ones? One combined. Would your decision change if we split them up?
I wonder if we need to do. We need to do it again.
Is it okay? We can do it again.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm happy
because
to
it
do
need
it.
to be
again,
clear
but-
again, I think we probably also need to read out the amendment at the time, so do one.
Yeah, and then we'll do the
vote,
amended
and
one.
And then do the amended one, yeah.
Okay,
We don't have.
And I would read it out, just so everyone's clear.
okay. So
But you can get them with it.
I can't read the amended one because I don't know
Yeah,
what it is,
yeah,
but
Sally.
okay, we're going to back up. I'll read the first one, and then Sally, you've got the amended one, but we will, so what we're going to do is vote on them separately, okay?
Yep.
Right, so the first part goes that the Te Awamutu-Kihikihi Community Board request the CEO to publicly acknowledge the massive hardships of the past 5 years, that the council enforced some very strong applications of law which had far-reaching ramifications for a diverse number of the community in many different ways, acknowledging the divisive nature of the actions also taken by council, demonstrating some empathy and public awareness to build connections and facilitate discussions into the future. Right, so, sorry.
And did you amend that one?
I did put in collaboration.
Oh,
but you
sorry.
can do it as you like.
And collaborate on the end of that, so,
Discussions and collaboration into the future.
okay, discussions and collaboration into the future. Sorry, I didn't have that. So Sally, would you like to move that?
I move that.
Kane seconding it. All in favour?
Aye.
Against? So that means leaves me in the middle and I'm still the same on that one. Okay, and then Sally, if you would like to read the amended
The
version, because I don't
amended
have
is
it.
the Te Awamutu-Kihikihi Community Board proposed that the Waipa District Council adopt a policy to never discriminate on medical status ever again for the use of public facilities.
Okay, so you're moving that?
Yep.
A seconder? Kane, all in favour?
Aye.
So, and Jill?
Yep.
Against? John, Lou and Bruce.
Yep.
And so we're back to the draw and I'm still sticking with where I was at too.
Okay,
Sorry.
cool.
Yep. And we've approved that we received the information from the Ombudsman. Yep. I would still like to see us possibly have a look at that opportunity to have some of those discussions. I think that could be something that the community board could pick up alongside civil defence and just see what our community feels around those and follow that through. Because I think there's some things that we could probably have done better within the instructions without breaking the law. So that could be food for thought for our new community board. Okay, item 9, the Treasury report on pages 57 to 59. So I need to jump over there. While I'm getting there, has anyone got any comments about the Treasury report that they wanted to make mention of?
Yeah, I would.
Go, Jill.
So we've received the funding from the council that we give out as community board grants, but I believe that we're not doing it this year because of election year and the timing. And I want to know, how do the public know, the ones who regularly we give money to, that they're not getting money for Christmas? I haven't seen it anywhere. I believed it was going to be on the council webpage, but I haven't seen it there. So there'll be people who, do regularly get it and apply for it. But of course, we haven't put out there that we've got the money anyway, but just a bit disappointed that it hadn't gone through in time for people for Christmas. Thank you.
Thanks, Jill. It had gone out in a press release because I think I saw it. Was there anywhere else? Do you know?
We certainly were making efforts to make sure that people were aware that was happening. It was unfortunate timing in terms of the LTP was adopted later, and in terms of it being a different. It's being an election year. This means that there will be opportunity for the new board to allocate those discretionary grants and look at think what they might want to do in the coming financial year. It is a bit different from when you used to have more in your discretionary fund pot and you were doing 2 grant pooled allocations a year, and now that it's been reduced, you're down to 1. So there's been a number of kind of timing factors in play.
I can understand that, but I just haven't seen it anywhere in the media.
Well, it has been, Jill. There was definitely something that came out.
Online.
Well, I definitely saw something come through as a press release. I can't say I've seen it specifically in the paper though.
No, and put it in your report, maybe. Put it in your weekly, your monthly.
No, I can't because I'm not allowed to do them at the moment. Yeah.
It is on our website, and certainly we're going back to people when we get queries as quickly as possible and letting them know what's happening.
Cool. Thank you.
Can I clarify, when is the date next year have we got? Because we're going to have this issue next year as well. That's the concern, isn't it?
Yep, it'll be early in the new year. So what we'll do is with the new community board, get them together and decide, be looking at criteria like you did for this last funding round in the last year. So start doing that fairly early on, look at what projects the boards want, what criteria they want, given the pool that's available. So that will be one of the first things that's on the agenda.
We can have 2 pools if we want, right? I'm trying to get the Christmas stuff sorted. So for next year, the same thing doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying?
For next year?
Yeah.
Yes, certainly we can. Certainly when it'll be different timing. Yeah, next year, and you can go back to looking at more like your September allocations. There's no reason to not be reverting back to that time frame next year, next financial year.
That would be good, Lou.
You've actually organised something, haven't you, with Rotary for the Christmas parade anyway? You have done something, haven't you? Yeah, so what I'm saying is that would probably be our biggest contribution before Christmas. So think
There
that's-
are a couple of other smaller ones that,
Yeah, I
that would
realise, but-
possibly have applied, like Christmas hampers, and also Kāinga Aroha have applied in the past for support for the kids' holiday camp. So there's definitely a couple like that off the top of our head that I know Jill and I had sort of discussed that could be caught a bit short. Working at Kāinga Aroha, I think we're going to be okay this year. So hopefully we'll be all right. I'm not sure what position Christmas hampers are in. Kane?
Can I just have a reminder of this future projects yet to be determined?
Yep.
Is that, do we know what that is?
Oh, that was the money that we put aside in case we needed to do
Right.
something that we said, right, let's just put some aside so we didn't accidentally spend it and then want to try and do something ourselves. So it was just a little stop measure. Joe, the other question I had, and I had a couple of questions that Joe has come back to me on because I hadn't had a chance to have a look at my emails today. But one of mine was that why is the youth development expense showing as a committed and expenditure? And it hadn't, that amount was approved from our discretionary grant when we did it, but it hasn't shown up in the ones that hadn't been picked up all year. And then all of a sudden it popped in here and I'm like, oh, hello. And I just wondered.
It was in your August report as
Yeah, it was
prior
in
year
August,
commitments, and
yeah.
then there must have been expenditure come in for that.
Yeah,
so then next time it should disappear.
Yeah, it'll disappear again. But my question had been, it can't have been picked up for the whole year, yet it didn't pop in until August. Like it wasn't there. I went right back to when we had the discretionary fund, and you know, like the first, a whole heap of them that all get picked up within that, us providing the grants and saying how much people get, and then we have the hangers on that haven't collected their money, right? That goes in those commitments. Yep, that sit there for the 12 months. This hadn't ever appeared until August. So that was what my question was. It may have just been an accidental error.
Well, would that, I think, been showing under the group of discretionary grants is that lump sum in there that you would have seen that will be in there, like just looking at the June one.
So do you think it'll be in that lump sum and then those others are older again?
And then in the next financial year, it becomes a prior year commitment.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. And I also asked about the Rangi or Orphea trust funds that they hadn't been shown. Joe said basically what happened there is because we didn't have a meeting in July, the end of June items that would have, where we would have seen it like what we have with this youth development of being able to see it come in and out, obviously didn't happen. However, I was quite keen for us to still make sure that any funds that are not collected and put back are clearly put into this report so that if anyone questioned it, well, they don't need to question it. I mean, you could work it out, but I think it needs to be more transparent than that. So I was quite keen to see anything like that Rangi or Orphea money that had sat there, that there's a clear comment and possibly a comment in the report from NADA or whoever's doing the report, just to say, look, this amount of money has been transferred over because it hadn't been uplifted. Which then brings me to my next one, is that there are some sitting there currently that are due to get transferred across. So I see Hospice Waikato has been sitting there since 2023. We've got some money from the Te Awamutu Community Health Transport Trust, 2 lots of money from them that also is sitting there. Now, Joe's just informed me that there's just a little bit of lack of information around the exact amount that the Te Awamutu Community Health Transport Trust would need to have transferred back. But I'd also, oh, sorry, I'll
It's
just
just
let you talk
looking,
to that.
yeah, it's just looking at, so we've got the full gambit of information when you pass the resolution to return it back, because I think if we're just looking back during the meeting, it looks like they were granted a larger sum, so we'll just go back and track that back, and then we can come back with the information on what actually happened, because it might be that they didn't actually need as much money as they thought they did, and so then it may well be that we can find an accountability form which says that actually this has been spent, but we only need this. So we just need to kind of find that level of detail, because in looking back, it's actually the original grant wasn't for $100.21, it was more in the $400. So we can just bring that full picture for you when you make any decision.
Yeah, and so on from there, I wanted to check what everybody felt in regard to at least returning the hospice Waikato money back. Joe made a good point. Do we want to make a phone call to them before we actually move that money is moved? Or it was very clear in their discretionary application where it stated that any funds that weren't used were to be returned, and we just tidy this up. And it, yeah. And in that 2023 one, because I went back and checked, it was very clear that they needed to use it, or else it would lapse and they would need to then reapply.
Sorry, can I say, I think there must be something going wrong, that hospice would need that money. So why didn't they use it? There's something going wrong.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
The health shuttle, I think we need another line there to explain, okay, another line to that, utilised 400 of it, as Joe said, and there's 100 left. It's pretty hard for us around the table to understand that.
Or it just needs to be put into the
But
report,
most people would have used them generally.
Yeah.
It's pretty, not big figures.
I'm wondering if with hospices, maybe there was a change of staff or something like that, and it just got lost. And Jill?
No, I'm just wondering too, when it gets to nearly a year and they haven't spent it, surely somebody from the council and the finance team would contact the people and say, you know, you haven't spent the money? Or is it up to the community board to do it, the discretionary funding? But surely somebody could talk to those people rather than us try to guess what's happened.
Yeah, that could be a good idea going forward. The point is that this is now way outside. I mean, we're looking at 2 years down the track. So I'm thinking for that one, it's a big organisation as well. Let's just tidy that one up. The community health shuttle won't actually be that we're not sure what it is. It just doesn't match up with the initial figures. So chances are they have returned some money. But we just need to make it clear. And I don't know, is that a possibility that if we've got funds sitting at the end of our time that are staff able to do it? Or do you think it's something that we should pick up? What do you think, Joe?
I think sometimes with one of those that are lapsing, it can be a bit of a mix in terms, because particularly if there are members of the community board that have links into those organisations, then that's often quite helpful, but we can also do that as well.
Yeah, okay, cool. So as far as that Waikato Trust money goes, do we want to just deal with it, or would you prefer that it gets left for the new community board to make the recommendation and we ring and let them know that we're going to move it anyway? Are we happy to get on and move it?
My personal thing would be clean it up now before the next community board. We know what it was and we were part of approving it for those groups. So I think it's our role to have it nice and clean for the oncoming elected members for the community board. That's my view.
Okay. Joe, I believe you made a wee recommendation for me to use to move that. So can I get you to read that on my behalf, please? Thank you. Yeah.
It's silence my end. Has anything been said?
No, we're just letting Jo do her magic.
We're not leaving you up, Joe.
Okay, thank you. Oh,
Okay, so we've got the Te Awamutu and Kihikihi Community Board agrees to amend Resolution 6/23/76, passed on the 27th of September 2023, which allocated $1,000 plus GST, if any, to the Hospice Waikato Trust by approving the return of the sum of $1,000 plus GST, if any, granted to the Hospice Waikato Trust to its uncommitted discretionary funds as the grant has not been claimed within the required timeframe. So are we happy with that?
Yep.
Yep.
Check that it was plus GST or not. I'll just check that bit before you pass that.
Yep, I think they all are, aren't they?
Yeah,
They've
I
always
just need to
been.
check.
There won't be any GST in this,
No.
but
No.
showing in this, in the $1,000, because it's always whatever we give them plus GST.
Yeah.
Do you need to put in required timeframe set out by the policy or set out by?
Applications in.
We can do it, we could get that done.
Notes to the application form was actually where it was.
Because they knew.
Yeah, well, they should have.
You know.
Within the 2% house and the grant application, are you happy
Oh,
with
you
that?
mean over there?
Yeah. Liam, look out. You might be put to work sooner than you think.
Out of my scope of practice.
We okay with that? Okay. Oh, we're gonna wait for John, don't we? Oh, he did. Oh, so. Oh, so actually he said he'd move it, but I think he technically actually needs to be here to do that. So, pardon?
Before it was.
Yeah, so we've got to, no, we can't. We've got to wait for him. We can. Let's just carry on without him. Okay, so can I have someone to move it? Sally, second, Kane, all in favour?
Yep.
Against? Carried.
Who moved it?
Sally, Kane second, sorry. Right. Chairperson's report. So what do we got? I will take my report as read. However, I would just like to, I won't read the whole part that I've written, but I just would like to voice my thanks to all of you. It's been, it's been my pleasure to have worked with you all. You've done some really hard yards. We've had some tough times, and I'm really very grateful for the support that you've given me, and just the mahi that you've all put in to try and put our best foot forward on behalf of our communities. Special thanks to Kane. He, on a number of occasions, made sure that what I said and what I wrote and what I sent were somewhat tempered, because my first versions of things can sometimes be a little bit hot-headed. So a special thanks to Kane for lots of wise words, and also to Lou, because he often would ring and we'd have some pretty long conversations. So special thanks there. Also staff, really grateful to you guys for all the support, all the hours of work that you do for us, and many, many questions and pesty things that we come up with. We really are very grateful and do appreciate you. So thank you. Just while I mention that, also best of luck to everyone who's re-standing. Sorry to see you go, Sally, but I understand you've got lots on and you'll be keeping very busy, and I'm sure we'll see you around the traps, and if we need an extra helper, I'm sure we can coerce you into helping us. And best of luck to our new candidates as well. Though Haupo road sign, I don't think that needs any more. I drove past there and actually the roses are coming out. They're starting, not the actual flowers, but the little plants are starting to grow. It's starting to look quite nice down there. So that's all really good. And a special thanks to John and to Rotary, who I believe have been hard at work cleaning up those other entry signs as well. Right, the important part of this one is the Christmas parade. So I have been speaking with Chris Kay, and Chris did send me a breakdown. So I do have that I will send out to everybody, but I'm within the approximate amount. And of course, we always put money back if we don't use it. So we really wanted to be able to support the Christmas parade. It's something that we have supported for many, many years. When I spoke to Chris, he said they didn't need as much this year because they were going to trial not doing paper advertising. So that was a big cost for them that's been taken out of the picture, but they would really appreciate some help and support. So I'm wondering if the other community board members think that what I've proposed here, if A, you're available, and B, we want to provide some money towards the Christmas parade, or maybe we provide some money towards helping them out with the, with the food side of things. But ideally, we really need to be involved for it to be able to go through as a community board project. So that actually was a dumb idea, so ignore that. What do you think? And would we like to do it, and would people be available?
I'm fully supportive, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Supportive.
Kane, you good? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's a catch with this. Anyone that agrees to this now puts their hand up to come help. You don't get out of that. And we potentially have new helpers as well. That even, all people standing this year get included in this help a lot.
Support that idea.
Oh, and you're definitely stuck.
If I'm around.
Yeah.
Depends on where I am.
Yeah, cool. Yep. So we think it's okay, righto. Great. Have you thought of something?
No, I'm just need to pass some recommendations.
Yeah, that's what I was, yep.
So we want to do this one first?
Yes. I can probably run this one together. I don't need to do them in two separate bits. I can do A and a B and we move it and.
So we've done A and B together.
Yeah, I'll do them all together, okay? So I'd like to move that the Awamutu-Kihikihi Community Board A approve the payment of up to $600 plus GST from its discretionary funds to cater for the volunteers supporting the Rotary/Corsteel Christmas Float Parade, with any unspent funds returned to its uncommitted discretionary funds. And B, recommends to the incoming community board that board members make themselves available on the day of the Christmas parade to organise and provide catering to the volunteers supporting the Rotary/Corsteel Christmas Float Parade. So I've moved it. Someone to second it. John, all in favour?
Yeah.
Against? Carried. Yay, thank you. Arthur Patterson, the water bill query, that was all fine. I don't think there was anything else that I wanted to mention there. But I think it's important to note that we had some staff responses to some of the things that I've brought up, which they have outlined in their report. Again, I won't go through all of that. I did just want to comment on the waka kotahi. So I see staff have done quite a lot of work in that waka kotahi space. And I did wonder whether the community board felt that it could be a good supporting move to, like what we have done in the past, email Waka Kotahi and say, look, we understand that you are working with our staff. However, we are getting these comments and requests as well to support the work that the transport team are doing. So if everybody's happy with that, I can just pop off an email. I don't think we need to do a recommendation to
We've
do.
got one here.
Oh, did you do one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Send you it.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh,
So.
oh, you did too, that we do.
that
Oh,
one,
yeah,
and
okay.
And then after we've done it, we'll do that one.
Yeah, okay, cool. I didn't even notice that, sorry. All right, I will move that the Te Awamutu and Kihikihi Community Board agree to write to Waka Kotahi raising concerns with the state highway network in Te Awamutu and Kihikihi, including on issues such as potholes on state highways and signage. So I'll move that. Someone second it? John, all in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Okay, I have a job to do. And then finally, unless anyone's got any questions or comments as a result of my report.
I have.
Jill?
The Arthur Patterson Reserve, I'm just disappointed, and no reflection on you, Ange, that you know, we've done a report on it and surely by now they know what they're doing there and we don't know.
Has the councillors had any updates on that?
Well, we haven't had anything, although I do know that it's coming up in the agenda. So it will be brought back up again. So.
In the next agenda, Lou. Okay, because just, yeah.
But it is coming up.
Yeah, just to clarify, so in that November meeting, November 24, staff were delegated the responsibility to handle this whole process. So this decision is going to be made by the staff that manage those, you know, like that will be looking after that work, that piece of work. And they will come back to councillors and let them know what their decision was. Okay, so just to make sure people are clear about that. Cool. I've got to move mine report. Oh no, I thought I did that. No, okay, I didn't. Right, and just finally, as part of my chair report, that the Te Awamutu and Kihikihi Community Board A, receives the report of Angela Holt, Chairperson, Te Awamutu and Kihikihi Community Board, titled Chairperson's Report, and B, receives the staff response to the Chairperson's report. So I'll move that. Can someone? Oh, I can't move it. I can't move it. I need someone else to, please.
I'll move it. And,
Thank you, Lou.
And saying that, I'd like to say from the community board, thank you for all the work that you do. And I do know that you spend many hours writing submissions and things behind the scenes, sometimes between my year off and what you think. But I think it's really important that we have someone as active as you in the role. So you've done a great job, and I think it's really great. The other thing I'd like to recognise is that we have a man who's done 24 years in council, and this will be his last community board meeting.
Lou,
so
I want to let you. Well, we will get to that, but we're in the middle. We're in the middle of a motion. Thank you, though. So we've got Lou has moved it. A seconder.
I'll second it.
Kane. Sorry. All in favour?
Aye. Aye.
Against? Carried. Right. Thank you. Thank you, Lou. And yet we will acknowledge that. We won't let you out. Quite. Right. So we now have item 11, board members' reports from meetings attended on behalf of the board. So have we got any updates from anybody? Jill, have you got something? You normally do? Yep.
Yeah, thank you, Ange. Yes, I met a little while ago a few weeks ago with Sally Sheedy, just to discuss a few things about things around town and issues. And she wanted to know about the heritage signs because she said she hadn't seen our report where we'd put a quote in saying about the heritage signs from Slick Designs. And so now, after that's happened, I've had an email from her to say that because the museum at the moment is in the process of moving back to where they are, that Anne Blythe and Brad Ward and her and, you know, the quote that they had that we got for, well, I got for them from as part of the community board, that they will be putting early next year the heritage signs that we instigated around Te Awamutu, so we do not have to wait another 10 years for them to spend 65,000 on the others. So go the community board.
I didn't have that on. Cool, that was a good result. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. That's great. And thank you to Sally and Brad and Anne for supporting that. Okay, that is awesome. Anyone else got anything that they have been to? John? Oh, no.
Just at Urban Miners the other day on Sunday, a reasonable turnout. But down on staff for the Rotary, they all disappeared, but we managed quite comfortably. Kane did a good job imitating Richard. Didn't have his dog.
Yeah. Urban Miners for me too, yeah.
Yeah, Kane, have you got anything?
Urban Miners.
Urban Miners, yep. I just have the Rangiawhia Hall AGM. So there was, it was a nice evening catching up with those guys up there. They're having a terrible time actually with burglaries. They've had the pipe out of their ladies' toilet, the copper pipe stolen. They got broken into the other night, and to the best of their knowledge, they lost 2 teapots. But they've had fire extinguishers stolen a couple of times. So I've got a few questions that I'm going to, I'll do up an email and send off to try and follow up for them. Most importantly, they would like to be able to close and lock the gate. So I will follow that up with Brad and see if there's any possibility of that being able to happen, because I think that would be quite a good deterrent. Oh, because amongst the burglaries and the problems, they also had someone take a stolen car and manage to back into the corner of the hall and do about well, not quite, a couple of $1,000s worth of damage. And as you know, they have very limited funds, getting burgled and busted and things is getting a bit hard on them. So, but they really appreciated us going up there, reminded them again about, you know, the availability of the discretionary fund, that we don't often see the halls or the rural community make applications. So, you know, please remember, and if there are things that come up for them, to feel free to contact Kane and get him to or any of us, and to follow up. So that was my main one. And yeah, and attending candidate functions, that's been keeping us pretty busy lately. Yeah, so that was my main one for the last little bit. Can't think of anything else I've been up to. Jill?
Sorry, I forgot to mention that with the 3 signs coming into Te Awamutu with the welcome sign, yes, one member of Rotary cleaned with me one of the signs, but I just want to acknowledge that John Wood did the rest and helped upgrade them, put new signs up and cleaned signs as well. So I just was delighted with, you know, to work with John on that. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Jill. John?
Thank you, Jules. Appreciate it. Jill, we're working with you.
All right, so there not anything else that anyone wanted to raise around that. So just before we go to the closing karakia, 24 years, Bruce. Keen? Hey? So thank you.
Time flies.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I think probably maybe just a hand to say thank you. Got any words of advice?
Oh, come on.
And, oh, you don't want me to sing into my microphone.
Actually, Lou had a different variety of that, but we won't repeat it. And no, thank you all very much. I think it's been an interest. Oh, hey, could you button zip it? Wow. Interesting experience after all these years being on the community board for this last term. I found it quite frustrating as a councillor, in that if council matters are there especially Lou and I couldn't say anything. We had a conflict, we were unable to participate. And that's really difficult when you've got some information. I've always going back, say 10 years. If you had a conflict, it was only if you had a pecuniary interest or a monetary interest in the topic or getting any benefit of it. But now it's so frustrating. Everything's got a conflict. You can't roll over and do anything. It's so bad. But never mind, we'll get over that. I'd like to say thanks staff, and I have done that in the past few little times of different outfits I've been on. They're amazing. I will miss them dearly. I will stay away, but I will miss you all. I wish all the candidates all the best. I think it's actually quite a relief. I don't have to do any campaigning this year, but not that I was in a lucky ward that I must have been doing a good job because I didn't do much campaigning and still got back in. And yes, I do wish you all the best because I think it's a changing climate we're in, and it's not easy. It's life used to be a lot easier, say 2 terms back, 6 years back. Anyway, it's not simple, especially when you want to give money to people and you just haven't got it, and the council hasn't got it. So we'll get over that. But I thank you all. Been a great journey, I may put it. So I've got lots of other things to do. Or more, so I saw to Claire or someone today. So people are stacking them up for these jobs. They haven't got out of council yet. And most of them are non-paying ones, so that's even, I suppose, better. But yeah, no, I'll keep out of trouble. Thank you.
Yeah, well, we'll keep you on that for the Christmas parade, Bruce, anyway. Yeah, no, so thank you very, very much. Okay, so if there is nothing further, if I could ask Hone to do our karakia whakamutanga. So I will hand over to Hone. Thank you. Kia ora.
Just before we finish off, just on behalf of Liam, Sharon and myself, we'd like to thank the table and the committee for having us here tonight. We appreciate that. Thank you. Mi noi tātou. Kia tau, kia tātou katoa. Se ata whai o tō tātou ariki kia iu karaiti. Me te aroha o te atuaho. Me te kitenga, e whakakitenga o te karakia o tēnei pō āmene.
Kia ora, Hone. Okay.